because it's another day for me to share my experience with you. My channel is a one-stop platform for everything academics, finance, and motivation. Today, we are going to talk about myth about PhD. I have read a lot of things on the internet. People talking about, oh, PhD is like this, PhD is like that, PhD is like that. But today, I'm here to debunk 5 of them. If you have any question regarding PhD, you can put it in the comment section for me so I can answer. Alright, let's hop on and get started. Myth number 1, that you need a master's degree before you can apply for a PhD. That is not true. In United States of America, in Australia, in UK, in Canada, in China, most of the places that I know, you don't necessarily need to get a master's degree before they give you admission. So I know a lot of my other friends too that didn't need to get a master's degree and they applied directly into the program. The truth of the matter is that few people apply for a PhD program. So don't let you not having a master's degree be a hindrance towards the application for a PhD program. If that's not matter, all what you need to do is to get an undergraduate degree, and that is good enough to go. Myth number 2, that you need to get a perfect GPA or almost perfect GPA to get admission into PhD. That is also not true. So I know for most schools, once you have 3.0 or above GPA, that is good enough for them to admit you into a PhD program. I also did talk about how you can get admission even when you have average or low GPA. If you have not watched it, I'm going to put the link above, so click on it and watch to understand what you can do to boost your chances of getting admission into a school abroad. Myth number 3, that you need to get a PhD advisor or professor before you are admitted into a PhD program. That is also not true. But there is a caveat. If you are going to Australia or Canada, most of the time they require that you communicate with a professor and the professor hire you into their lab. This means that the professor is going to use the funds he has received for a research project to pay you. So that means that in writing your essays and even communicating with the professor, you have to show that you have interest in what the professor is currently doing in his lab. But in the United States of America, you really don't need to get an advisor. Even though it's important that you can reach out to some of them, they can give you admission into the program without you having an advisor. I didn't even talk to anybody before I got admitted, and even after my admission, I spoke to professors once I came to campus. So if you are looking at coming to United States of America, yes, it is good to reach out to professors and all of that. But if you reach out to them and nobody responds, please go ahead and still put in your application, because the school can admit you, and once you come over here, you look for a professor to support your work. Another reason this is a myth is that some people have external funding. They are either funded by their home countries or by a company or by an organization. If that is the case, they do not need the professor's funding. If you have your money already, put it in your essay that you don't need funding. You can cater for yourself because you have secured a scholarship already. If that is the case, you don't have to worry about research advisor. Once you communicate with them and tell them that, the likelihood that they will even pick you is very high. So look at all those options and do not worry about the professors not responding to your emails. Myth number 4, that you need to have been a teaching assistant or research assistant before you are admitted into a PhD program. I know for those of us in Ghana, a lot of those who engage as a teaching assistant or research assistant end up traveling outside the country for their education. That there are people that they also go to the industry to work first, and after they work for a while, they decide to go back to school. And no matter where you are, so far as you have the document and you have good results, that is all matters. You just put in your application, and it doesn't matter whether you have been a TA before, an RA before, or whatsoever, you can still get admission. Myth number 5, that funding is assured. I would say that for most schools, if you want to do a PhD program, the likelihood of they funding you is very high. But that is not a promise to all schools. So let's cast our mind back into your home country. I am from Ghana, so where I am from, people that do PhD, they pay from their pocket. But in America, in UK, Australia, and other countries, the good thing is that most of these professors are able to secure funding to help students, or even the school itself, they have resources to help PhD students. So if we're in STEM, I know for STEM, there is an assured funding for most schools, but funding is not assured for all schools. That is why it is important for you to check the school's website to see whether they have funding available for PhD students before you even pay the application fee and waste money. If there is no source of funding for you and you cannot fund yourself, don't even apply to the school in the first place. Myth number 6, that you need a research experience before they will admit you into a PhD program. As I mentioned earlier on, I got into my PhD program without a master's degree, meaning that the only research experience I had was for my final year project or for my capstone project. It is the only research experience I had at that time, and I was still able to get admission into a very top school in US. However, having research experience is good. It can help boost your application because PhD is all about research. If opportunities are available on your campus, please grab them. Tell your professors about it and let them join you with their PhD students or with their master's students so that you can learn how to do research. Another factor is that it also helps you once you get to your destination or the school you want to attend, because you already have research experience. You're not starting from scratch. You already know what to do. So it will speed up the whole process for you. That is all I have for you today. If you liked this video, please subscribe to my channel, watch it, share with your friends, because we want this to reach as many people as possible. You have enjoyed it, tell your friends so that they can also enjoy and have information about PhD program.